All right, we're back here. This is Maria Miller who we're looking at. So Rhonita was what her loved ones had called her, and she and her 4 children were killed in 2019 when her SUV was ambushed by the Juárez Cartel in Mexico. Youngest child, or youngest children, 8-month-old twins. This happened about 100 miles south of the U.S. border. 2 women, 9 other children were also attacked at the time, and President Trump called for the group responsible to be designated as a terrorist organization. Rhonita's family supported that. It wasn't until this month, however, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio designated 8 cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and the Juárez Cartel was not on the list. So the family's calling on the president to expand the list. It's a story we've talked about, but this is a new wrinkle to it. Rhonita's sister, Adriana Jones, joins us. Welcome, Adriana. Can you tell us more, before we get into the back and forth about the cartels, about your sister and what happened?
So on November 4th of 2019, my sister was starting a trip just a mile or so from her home, and cartels opened fire on her vehicle with her and her 4 children inside, gunned them down, and then burned them when they were still alive. Since then, my family has just been devastated by this tragedy. We have done everything in our power to try to find justice. Donald Trump was the first one right after the accident happened in November to come out and say that the cartels should be designated terrorists. He was willing to do it. And now here we are 5 years later, still looking for justice. Things have only gotten worse for Americans. They continue to send fentanyl across that border, backpackfuls enough to kill an entire state. They are still putting IEDs on the ground. Things have actually only gotten worse. The Juárez Cartel and their strong arm La Línea, which are the ones who actually murdered my sister, are the ones who run the cartel rings on the El Paso Juárez border. So they are the ones directly responsible for a lot of that border violence that we see, along with the fentanyl and the opioid.
We're looking at, the history of the Juárez cartels. It's rough stuff. So tell me exactly what you want to see happen that hasn't happened yet, because we've talked about this designation of other cartels by the president as terror organizations. What about this group?
We want them added to the list. They need both their names and La Línea. So these are their.
You have any idea why they're not on it, or
I think that I'm not a part of those decisions. I'm obviously not have a seat inside there. I was surprised, honestly, to see them not on the list.
Yeah, you must have been. After everything you've been through and their history, obviously not only your personal history, but where are they on this list?
It was actually what first brought the conversation to the table, was this horrific accident. All Americans, all murdered women and children, that really put the terrorism designation on the table. So confident that, honestly, I'm so grateful to Donald Trump. He's the first person to really take on the cartels head on, to really say we're going to go after them, we're going to call them terrorists. And I just think that we need to expand that list. Everybody included on it.
Listen, we'll keep following it because, it is a list. It's been a story we've had. So maybe they will, and then we'll see how maybe this happens in the near future. But we'll stay on it. Thanks for coming on tonight. Our condolences. Just this terrible story that affected your family. So you're a terrific advocate for your sister, Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Adriana Jones and your sister. What a terrible, terrible story. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.